Hello everyone and welcome back to another great super cool radio interview. I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. And before I start talking about my guests, just a quick reminder to like this video and make sure to subscribe and turn that notification bell. That way you not miss any super cool radio interviews or episodes. I got two great guests from Monroe who will join me momentarily. Gavin is the lead vocalist and guitarist, and Josh is the drummer for this Rockford, Illinois band. In February, they released their latest EP entitled This Is Rebirth. In this interview, we discuss writing and recording the new EP, how they came up with the name This Is Rebirth, and so much more. So let's dive into this interview. Let's go! Before we jump into the show, I want to tell you about our merch store on Threadless. Shop a wide variety of logos with multiple colors and sizes available for each design. Your support is greatly appreciated and helps us continue to make killer content like this episode. Please visit supercoolradio.threadless.com or the link in the description to shop now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here on Super Cool Radio. So I know we got a lot to discuss with the new EP and everything going on with Monroe. Before we jump into all that, a nice fun question to kick this off. What music have you been listening to this week?
Ooh. Oh, Josh, you want to take that one while I think about it? Because my music's all over the place.
Yeah, no, I just... I don't know why. I've heard the song 100 times, but I just really started getting into it. And I've listened to it probably 30 or 40 times every day for the past week. Gasoline by I Prevail. I don't know why.
Nice.
I knew that song from when it first came out. And then my girlfriend, it came on her Spotify. And I was like, damn, dude, this is such a good song. Why have I? It's kind of was like I've been sleeping on this song, and so I've been listening to that one, and then Thrown by Bring Me the Horizon. Been listening to that one too. Another one that I'm like, what? Dude, like I heard it a couple times and it never stuck with me, but then I heard it again and I've listened to it again 20, 30 times and every single day for the past week or so.
I'm glad you've been enjoying those two songs. So, Gavin, how about for you?
I gotta say, on the way back and forth to work and stuff, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of Bad Omens, as I always do. My music taste is kind of all over the place, though, you know? Like, 1 minute I'm listening, my heart's in hard rock and stuff, but, you know, I'm not a hater. I listen to everything except for rap. I'm not a huge on that, but I'll go from like 90s country back to Bad Omens and then Seven Dust and then Beartooth, and then all of a sudden I'm listening to some Katy Perry song. I don't know. Shit gets stuck in my head.
Very, very wide range of music, and admitting Katy Perry on a interview. I mean, hey, props to you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, very, very good. A lot of great stuff in there. I'm a huge Beartooth fan and Seven Dust fan, so I definitely relate with that. But yeah, for sure. And so very, very nice, very fun question to kick this interview off. But now getting into more about you guys. Obviously, I'm talking with Monroe. So before we start talking about the EP, so how did Monroe come together as a band?
That one started with so. Me and the bass player, Logan, grew up in a town called Monroe Center, Illinois. Really small town, population of 500. And my buddy had a band in high school, and I always looked up to him, and I was like, dude, I'm going to do what you do one day. And I grabbed Logan. Logan had no clue how to play an instrument. Never played the bass before in his life. And I was like, hey, take this thing. I need you to play it. And we were got the opportunity to open for actually some country back back then in Rockford. And I was like, let's just learn like 5 songs and try to do this music thing, but we got to come up with a name. And we were like, we live in Monroe Center. Let's call ourselves Monroe. And the name just kind of stuck.
Right on. So Josh, how did you were you originally part of the band, or when did you join the band?
No, I was the last member to join. We what was it? You guys were banned for what, 3 years or
Probably more than that.
4 years?
I mean,
4 years?
Maybe 4, 4 or 5.
I think it was probably 4, yeah, because you guys were 23, I think. I can't remember, but no, I had a band of my own, and we weren't really going anywhere, and kind of told them, I just said, hey, I want to kind of start looking around for some other opportunities, and that was my way of saying, like, doesn't seem like anybody else is serious about this. I want to start looking around, and yeah, I got in touch with these guys over social media, and I only live 15 minutes away from them, and yeah, so I went out to one of the shows, and I watched them play, and I remember they played a Seether cover, and it was it was like the second or third song they played, and I was really blown away by their sound, and yeah, so I think it was like a month later I moved in with Gavin, and yeah, that's been here since.
All right, on for sure. But yeah, so when you had the current lineup, when did that come together, and how's that been going?
We got Dalton. Yeah, I don't remember the exact year, but I mean, Dalton had to be. He's going, because you're going on your second or third. So Dalton's probably going on his 4th year.
Third year.
Us.
This is my 3rd year, so it's Dalton's 4th. Because I joined you guys the tail end of 2019, and it was like December of 2019, and Dalton had been with you guys for a year.
Yeah, and that's been the lineup since, and it's just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool, very good to hear. So, and then last thing before we get into the new EP, what's like been the biggest challenge you guys have faced as a band, from starting out up until present day?
I would have to say determination, and not that we aren't, but because we are so determined, and we go at it really hard. We hit shows really hard. We're always, trying to book, and I think it's good. It's a good thing. It's just a lot of work, and we're fine with that hard work because that's the type of people we are. But I feel like that's what makes the band is, half is the talent and half is probably 3/4 is the drive of, what are you willing to do and how much are you willing to put in?
Yeah, definitely. It is a lot of the work you put in is the work you guys, that you get out of it, but you have to start with putting the work in first.
Yeah.
Definitely. So now I did want to tell us put in word that you guys just recently, I think February, I want to say, that you guys released a new EP entitled This Is Rebirth. How was it writing and recording the EP?
Awesome. Yeah, we get the opportunity to work with some really cool people. We had 4 producers on the track. We had every time we would go to record, they would fly in and come and help write the music with us. And it's Barry Stock, the lead guitar player for 3 Days Grace. Sean Foyce, the drummer for Breaking Benjamin. Morgan Rose, the drummer for Seven Dust. And Justin Taylor, who is the lead singer and guitarist of Allborn. We'd have, a day or 2 writing sessions, and then we'd all go to the casino afterwards and have fun, hang out, go to dinner. So it's quite the experience, and it was definitely a good time recording it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's fun. It's fun. I mean, we would go and it's a fun time going there and just writing, recording, and just hanging out. And it's a really relaxed environment, and it's fun because you're also learning a lot too, because we get to write and record with these guys that these guys have been doing it since I was a little kid. Like when I was in middle school, 1X album of 3 Days Grace. I never ever thought, Gavin never thought that we'd be sitting in a room writing music with one of those guys and working with them, and getting to do that. It's an experience.
It definitely is. So how'd you guys meet you listed a lot of incredible musicians. How'd you guys meet those people, and how was it like really getting to work with them, as you said that you've listened to their music, so now you get to write with them. So how'd you guys meet them?
We got in contact with
so one of those producers is Justin Taylor from Auburn. Band Auburn, and Auburn got a new guitarist from Rockford who's a buddy of mine that used to be in a Rockford band, and he had texted me and said, hey, we work with Morgan from Seven Dust. They're doing a thing called Instamix, and it was like $1,500 to go record a song with the drummer of Breaking Benjamin, drummer of Seven Dust, and in Columbus, Ohio, or somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in Ohio, Westchester, Ohio. And so we said, okay, that seems like a good opportunity. And we paid it, and we drove out there, and we recorded one song with them, and they seemed to like us and wanted to do more. And we worked with them for the whole EP, and probably work with them some more in the future.
That's very cool how it started off just as one song, but then it grew into a whole EP that you guys got to work with them on, which is very cool. And I very much enjoyed the EP. It's a lot of great music, and I think you guys have really stepped up your game with this new set of music.
Yeah, I think they even said it too. Like they said that the first time they worked with us till finishing the EP, it was they had told us that we had came a very long ways in a short period of time. When they first met us, they recognized, they liked the sound, they liked the talent and everything, but they definitely said we needed a lot of work. They didn't tell us that at the time, but then later on when we put in a lot of work, and towards the end they're like, hey, we were just letting you guys know, you guys have came a very long ways in a very short period of time, and we're very impressed on how you guys have turned out to be. That was cool to hear that.
Oh, it definitely is, especially from people that very established and very talented people in the music industry. To have them tell you that, it's a very high compliment.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, what was the biggest thing you learned through this experience with recording with them? What was the biggest thing you learned?
Take criticism. You can take criticism well. I think that's for us, or me at least. And you gotta not take it to heart. If something sucks, if you, hey, I got an idea, you say something, they're like, that sucks. You're like, okay, noted. You can't take things personally.
Yeah, I feel like they've really taught us to be better musicians, all around, in every way when it comes to songwriting, song building, structures of the song, just my singing, ways to sing things. Working with them so many times has really helped us grow.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to hear you guys had a very positive experience working with them. Obviously, you got really great music with the latest EP. and that you learned a lot of different things, working with them as well. And plus, taking criticism is a very important part. That's how you grow. Whatever field you're in, it's how you grow and expand, especially with learning from guys who have been very much established and very talented in the music industry.
Oh yeah, and especially like I don't know, like for me, I got two phenomenal, insanely talented, very popular drummers that, and me being the drummer, and like they say like, hey, all right, I go to record my part, and I'd play whatever I think and what I would, and I was still learning and figuring stuff out, and they go on the mic like, nope, try it again. And like there was times where I was down there for a while and I had to redo a lot of parts, and it was frustrating and I had to learn to just you gotta take it easy and just realize this is a learning moment and don't take it to heart, because I would do something, I was like, man, that was awesome. Or like, no. You're like, okay. So, but it was good. It was an awesome. It was great to. All of us during those times grew very well as musicians.
Yeah, they had to teach Josh that the whole song's not a drum solo.
Yeah, I the first song we recorded with them, that was the first time I had ever recorded, ever. And the first time I ever did any kind of recording, it was on Breaking Benjamin's touring kit. And I'm sitting there behind Sean Foyce's drum kit that he tours with Breaking Benjamin with, and I'm sitting there, and I remember they had said something about whatever they were talking about the click track, and I had said something like, "Oh, I've never played to a click track before." And when I said that, the look on his face, I'm like, why did I just say that? And they're like, oh my God, this guy's going to be freaking terrible. And it was a learning experience, but I was under a lot of pressure.
It definitely sounds like. So did you learn to play to a click while you're recording the EP?
Yeah. It was,
okay.
To learn, what I mean by that is I played to a click track like in marching band in high school, but yeah. With the drum set and actually like recording with the click track, I had never done that before. And I remember Sean looked at me and he's like, you've never even played to a click track before? And I wasn't going to go, oh, in marching band and high. No, I was like, oh God, no, I haven't. The look at him and Morgan gave back, he's all like, oh shit, why did I say that? It was like, oh boy, great.
It all worked out at the end, and yeah. The finished product with the new EP, obviously worth all of the. Even if it was frustrating at certain parts, it was definitely worth all the effort and all the hard work that was put into it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I did want to talk about, so the name of the EP is This Is Rebirth. How did you guys determine and come up with that name for the EP?
You wouldn't get this if you didn't know the backstory of our first like local band album. So our first local band album was called Rose for the Wicked, and it was recorded well for what it was, but we were at a point in our careers where Sean and Morgan, they were like, you guys need to delete that completely, like erase it. And we were like, okay, we could do that. And so they're like, because the stuff we're gonna come out with is going to blow this away. And I fully trusted in them and trusted in us. And the cover of the Rose for the Wicked, our local band album, was a red rose. And the cover for our new EP is a hand with a black rose on it. Just kind of, and it's called This Is Rebirth. Like, only the true OG fans from our hometown and stuff will understand that, it's the death of the first album and the rebirth of us. That's why with the red rose and the black rose.
But very nice. I like that kind of connection and a callback to the original album, which is not around anymore right now. But that you still acknowledge it and not gave a nod to it. But you guys are kind of like reintroducing your guys' band out into the world with the new music.
Yeah, we still we have CDs still that we don't obviously always publicly talk about, but I mean we do have people that still say like, oh man, do you got any more of those Roast for the Wicked CDs? And you're like, why? Like we don't ever have it on. You're like, it's never like I think I have one in my truck here, just have it. I mean,
yeah.
Here you go. I've used them as coasters.
Yeah, they do come in handy. You're not the first person to tell me that they've used these as coasters. I'm not kidding.
Coasters or Ninja Stars. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, be careful with those. They're not legal in Indiana, I've heard.
Oh.
Like one of 3 states where Ninja Stars isn't legal for some reason. Anyway, but no, it's cool that obviously you guys are moving forward. You're progressing with the band, and obviously since you got very top quality production, that this is the music that you want to show people with This Is Rebirth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right on. I'll drop some links for This Is Rebirth in the description of this podcast as well. But I did want to talk about a little bit about you guys' live aspect of your live show a little bit. Do you guys have a favorite song to perform live?
Yes, and I'm trying to think of which one because I like them all. Mine's probably gonna have to be Back to Life. So the last song on our EP, and we normally play it last too. And just because it's got really cool yelling parts and right in the middle of the verses, and I just have a lot of fun doing it. So it's probably gonna have to be that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say either Hate to See You Again or Let It Burn. Hate to See You Again is a really good one just because it's a fun song to play, and I always get into it, and it's just all around. It's a great song. But also Let It Burn. I like playing that one because it's kind of our heaviest song that we have, and I get to do the most like screaming out of any of the other songs I do in. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I get a little more mic time, which is fun. But.
No, right on.
I love that song, Let It Burn. I'm not a fan of playing it live.
Really? Well, why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I love it. I love listening to the song. Just there's not a whole lot going on in the verses. It sounds awesome in the recording and everything. I'm not doing a whole lot during the verses, and I really enjoy playing guitar, so that's probably why. But because during the verses, I'm just going da-na-na, da-na-na. I'm just real slow guitar playing. Fits the song wonderfully. Sounds great, but it's not as fun to play.
No, I got you. Yeah, I was just curious that you said it, but no, I understand the kind of thought process behind it because there's not a whole lot going on for you. But at least, Josh, you had to scream during it, so hey, that's at least a plus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. I love the song. Don't get me wrong, but
No, I got you for sure. It was just cool seeing both of you guys' dynamic of the song live, of one liking it more than the other. So I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah.
But before we wrap up this interview and talk about the future plans, Monroe. So for you guys, like, what has been like the coolest or most unique venue you have performed a show at?
hands down, the Five Flag Center.
Mm-hmm.
When we played with Steel Panther, it was a huge arena. We didn't know it was going to be an arena. It was in Canoe. It was in Dubuque, Iowa.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that it was. We assumed it was going to be like a theater, because that's when we looked it up. It's kind of what it looked like. Well, we got there, and it was this massive building, and we opened the door, and this is an arena. Like, we opened a door to a full arena, and I was like, holy shit. It was one of those moments where, like, I even called home and I was like, I'm playing a fucking arena, you know? And that was, the stage was ginormous. That was awesome. A really, really cool experience. But between that one or Rust Belt, Olean, when we played at Three Doors Down, was really cool too. I mean, we didn't have to do anything. Just people in black suits came out, unloaded our trailer, set our shit on the stage for us, put water down
like,
for
what do you need me to
us.
do?
I was like, yeah. I was like, man, this happens like every day for these guys.
And they're like wanting to set my drum set up and stuff. I'm like, I appreciate it, but like, I mean, it's cool. I'll do it. I've never had that happen before, you know. They're like, no, we get paid to do this. No, don't do that. We'll take this. We'll take this. Like, this is awesome. Yeah, this is awesome, man. Like, the worst part is setting up and tearing down at a show.
Yeah,
you got these people doing it. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, you're the first man I had someone who I've interviewed who told me that someone like actually like at that certain place will actually help you like be able to carry your stuff and set it up. That's cool. Like very very unexpected, but that is very cool that happened because it does not happen that often.
Yeah, one we were playing with Chase Beckham, who was an American Idol winner a couple years back, and then Three Doors Down, and that was the biggest show we had played to that day, and that was insane. And then we had people that were, you know, no, don't touch. Oh, we'll grab it. Like, oh my god, all right.
Yeah, we got our own little room and everything. It was great.
All right on. Sounds like a really awesome experience, and I'm glad you guys had. Sounds like two awesome shows with obviously with Three Doors Down and Chase Beckham, and obviously Steel Panther as well. So that sounds really awesome. Now, before we close out this interview, so what are you guys' plans for the rest of 2023? It's end of March, going into April. What is the rest of the year looking like for you guys?
It's been. I think we're shooting for nationals, like opening for national acts, and this year's been really slow on it. I don't know. There's not many shows that are coming through the area, and so there's not many to jump on. But you know, that's normally our goal. Is we're trying to shoot for the bigger shows, and we do still play. Like, we're playing a lot of bars right now, and we're going for more of headlining shows and stuff through Rockford. We're going out into Davenport, Iowa. We're going venturing up into Wisconsin. You know, we got a couple festivals. Like, we're I'm not going to say it yet because it's not released yet, but we got a festival in a town close to us that's real big and popular, and we got a festival coming up in Sycamore here in July, and you know, we're just shooting for the nationals and bigger shows like that, and just getting out there, man, you know. But it's been a little slow on the nationals this year, so hopefully that changes towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and a lot of times it picks up in the spring, summertime, definitely. I mean, I think we have at least one, if not two shows a month planned and scheduled right now, at least out until September, I believe. And once we start hitting that like late spring, we start getting booked up pretty quickly. That's when we're playing a lot of the summer months. We're playing a lot of times 8-9 shows a month. And, you know, all of us still have full-time jobs. So, you know, balancing that out, that's always a little bit of a trick.
Yeah, scheduling is always a trick. Pretty much anything in the entertainment business is scheduling. I don't know how some people do it with how busy they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. So, but I'm glad you guys got a lot of cool stuff in the works. Sounds like you got some really great shows coming up over the summer and into the fall as well. So definitely happy for you guys. I definitely hope if those nationals do come in later as the months progress as well.
Thanks, man, and thanks for having us on with you.
Of course. So last thing before we wrap this up, what are the best places to find Monroe online?
You can check us out on Facebook. I believe it's the band Monroe. That's just our tag. Or you can probably just type in Monroe and scroll, and you probably find us. We got Instagram. It's called Monroe_official. You can check us out on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, all that. We got music videos on YouTube you can check out.
We got the TikTok. We got on that.
Yep, we are learning the TikTok world. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll drop some links for Monroe in the description of this podcast. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here on Super Cool Radio. It was a great time chatting with you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course, for Josh and Gavin of Monroe, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.